Hello, El Paso, and welcome to another edition of Fact Friday. I'm Martin Padilla. And on this edition of Fact Friday, we're going to be talking about a campaign called Fight the Bite. And here to tell us more is Ruth Castillo, Health Program Manager from the Department of Public Health. Ruth, thank you so much for joining us. Can you give us a brief overview of what Fight the Bite is all about?
So the Fight the Bite campaign, it is a countywide campaign that we are implemented within the Department of Public Health, so that way we can bring awareness to the community about mosquito-borne diseases. We have several outreach events throughout the county, and also we have some weekly social media messages. We're providing some giveaways that will help you to be protected from mosquito bites, so please follow us on social media.
What prevention methods can residents do to prevent mosquito bites?
So we have the 4 Ds that will help us to prevent the bite. The first is DEET, then we have dress, dusk and dawn, and then we have drain. DEET is the active ingredient that we can find on mosquito repellents, and usually we want a repellent that has a concentration between 15% to 30%. So that way it can help us prevent the mosquito bite, but also it doesn't become harmful for our health. And then of course we have dress. So if you're gonna be outdoors, it is recommended for you to dress on long sleeves and also pants. So that way you can protect yourselves from the mosquitoes, but also from the extreme heat, which is also really important. And then dusk and dawn, which is primarily the 2 times during the day in which mosquitoes are more active. So it is recommended for the individuals to stay indoors and then make sure that you have screens on your doors and windows. So that way you can prevent the mosquitoes going inside your house. And then we have drain, which is really important. We need to drain any container that may collect water at least once a week. And remember, keep in mind that mosquitoes can breed in a small cap of water bottle, which is filled with water. So that's why it's really important that any water that you have standing in any item that can collect water, that it is drained, so that way we can prevent the breeding of the mosquitoes.
What disease can be spread through a mosquito bite?
So we have plenty of diseases that can be transmitted by mosquitoes. Due to the predominant species that we have here in El Paso, which is the Aedes and the Culex, these 2 types of species, they can actually transmit Zika, dengue, chikungunya, West Nile, and St. Louis encephalitis. Those are the ones that our community are at risk here locally due to the presence of these type of mosquitoes.
Are certain individuals at higher risk?
Yes, of course, our elderly, they are severely impacted by this type of diseases carried by mosquitoes. Also, the individuals that may have some underlying conditions such as hypertension, diabetes, some of these other conditions that compromise their immune system and puts them at a higher risk of severe complications from a mosquito bite carrying one of these diseases.
Can Zika be transmitted through sex?
Yes, Zika is a sexually transmitted disease. Pregnant women and also women thinking or planning in getting pregnant, they need to make sure that once they are pregnant that they have the proper prenatal care and also that they have condom use regularly with their partner. Keep in mind that if the partner or even themselves are traveling to any parts of the country in which Zika is endemic to that particular place, it is really important for them to use to have regular condom use for at least 14 days after they come back from that particular place.
Can Zika affect pregnancy?
Yes, Zika actually has been linked to birth defects, primarily microcephaly. So that's why it's really important for pregnant women to actually have prenatal care. If they see a mosquito bite and they have any of the symptoms, headaches, conjunctivitis, fever, that they let their healthcare provider know, so that way they can do the proper testing, and that way they can also try to provide treatment or any protective therapeutics that will help them to reduce the risk for a birth defect for their baby.
Where can residents find more information?
So we have, of course, our 211 and 311. They are more than happy to provide any resources that we have within the community. Also, we have our website on the public health main website, Be Climate Ready. In addition to mosquito prevention tips, we also have for extreme weather, so you can follow it year-round and you can find these preventive measures that will help you to stay safe during the different hazards that we have here in El Paso throughout the year. And then, of course, course, follow us on social media. We have some tips for you to follow, and also we have some giveaways, preparedness kits that will help you to actually be ready in case of an emergency.
Is there anything else you'd like to add?
You can always reach out to us. We have some presentations available if you would like us to expand either on mosquito-borne diseases or any other type of hazards that we have here locally and how we can prepare for it. You can always go to our website, and under the Speakers Bureau you can find the list of the presentations that we have available, and we're more than happy to help.
Well, that does it on this edition of Fact Friday. Ruth, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you all for watching. Remember, if you need any more information, make sure to visit the Be Climate Ready page. And if you haven't registered for your COVID-19 vaccine, make sure to do so by visiting epcovidvaccine.com. And for any other information on COVID-19, check out the city social media pages or visit epstrong.org. We'll see you guys on the next Fact Friday.